Hello. Hi, I hope everyone can hear me all right. There's a chat box out there. If you guys can, if all of you can say yes, no, that'll be amazing. So I'm just posting a message here. Perfect. Hi, Ashish. Good to meet you. Hi, KP. Hi, Suresh. Hi, Sriram. We'll give it a little bit more time, maybe a few more minutes. It's Saturday, 6 o'clock here in the UK. Where are you guys joining from? Sriram, all of you? Okay, perfect. UK. Nice. It's like a UK only audience so far. Copenhagen. Nice. Is it still cold there, Ashish? Rainy? Yeah. I mean, oh, nice. SFP area. Nice. Yeah, I'll get around to it. Yeah, we'll use Claude Code IDE, ideally if, on the machine that you are on. So not on the web. Web is okay, but it's just a little bit hard. Oh, nice to hear it, Sunny. So let's give it a few more minutes. I think let me go ahead, share my screen. Just get ready. Okay, that's okay. Ashish, we've got you covered there. As long as you have a Mac or a PC that we can work with, it should be fun. Okay, you guys can see my screen now, I'm guessing. Nice. All right, let's get started. So welcome all, for this webinar, the live webinar that I'm going to do. Essentially what we're going to do today and next weekend is build our own AI cold email agent with Claude Code. So, and we'll walk through what a cold email agent is. Obviously there is no coding involved at this point in time, but we will need to be able to prompt, as they say nowadays, the best coding language is English now, which is news for most people, right? So I wish I had that before I had to go through the troubles of learning some esoteric programming language syntaxes. So if you've never done any coding before, it's a good time to start building your application, right? Because all that's needed is to know what the requirements are, and then obviously Claude Code will take care of most of the rest. So let's go ahead. All right. So a little bit about me. So at the moment, I'm a tech founder. I'm the co-founder and CTO of GameBench, and we are helping build solve fast labs. To help businesses. I've seen that over the last few years, the power of AI, especially in solving real world problems, has become enormous. And we are seeing how we can help businesses grow with AI, right? That's the main objective. So just a little bit of a timeline for how I got hooked onto AI. I've been a software engineer myself for a long time, but 2022, 2023, when ChatGPT dropped, used it heavily to try and build projects just by copy pasting code to ChatGPT, and then asking it to modify it, fix compile errors and stuff like that. Then moved on to Cursor, if you guys have heard of it, which is an IDE-based system. I used Cursor to build applications. Then after that, jump ship to Claude Code and Codex. Actually, I used both of them in 2025. And then most recently, I've been experimenting with OpenClaw, to run automated workflows in my computer, in my Mac Mini. So some of the stuff that I've done is built a lot of projects, moved a lot of legacy stacks over to new stacks, written some new libraries with languages that I've never learned. We had a Python dashboard, moved it over to Rust, built a brand new Android app all from scratch. In the past, I've also tried my hands at expense management just for like daily use and stuff like that. So anything really that you've been thinking of doing, a fitness app, anything that you think that there is no app out there and you want to build something, there couldn't be a better time for doing that than now. So what I'm exploring now, moved a little bit further now. As I say, I'm going full stack from just being a technical co-founder to doing sales and marketing as well, which I think is going to matter more and more as the pain in a business switches. So the pain in the business used to be in building the product. It's moving on to actually how you put yourself, how you put your brand out there, and how you sell, how you position yourself. So all of those kind of problems are what's exciting me now, which is why I started looking at how do we put our business in front of prospective leads? How do you when you reach them, how do you enrich them? And what can you get from the market in terms of intelligence, so you can actually open your doors to customers. So a bunch of things that I've been trying now, all with AI's help. So what are we doing today? So we're going to build as I said, we're going to build a AI agent from empty folder. So I'll just quickly show you guys what that looks like, so you get an idea. Okay, so you can see this, right? So essentially, an AI SDR agent is something that most companies would use if they have a outbound campaign. So if I have to get customers from out of nowhere, so typically what would happen is I would get an email list from services such as Apollo, or there are a bunch of other services. Now I need to find my ICP, as it's called, my ideal customer profile, and then I would find my lead list. Once I find my lead list, I would use a service. There are multiple services out there that you can use to send emails. Anyway, that's Instantly for you. Instantly is a service that does that, right? So, and then you monitor. So what an AI is, once you set that up, you're hoping that obviously customers respond back to emails, right? So which, if you've got the ICP locked down and you've got a solid lead list, typically you get 1 to 2% response rate, right? So essentially an SDR, which stands for Sales Development Rep, usually handles all of this on their own. So, but what we're going to do is just look at replies that we're getting, and how can we automate that with little to no input from the human, right? So that's our aim. So as we're doing this, this is what the system would look like once you finish, right? So you get started, you connect your outreach provider. In this case, as I said, it's going to be Instantly. Or if you don't have Instantly, don't worry, we've got a mock kind of data set that we can use. So then we need an AI provider, right? So we'll pass the replies that we get to an AI provider to give a draft response. And we can use one of the three. So typically all of them perform. It depends on how much money we want to spend and what model we want to use and stuff like that. But let's say that, we can set all of these up, or either one up. Then we would go and, if you are, this is something I like because I use Slack quite a bit, and you want, when somebody responds on, let's say on one of those inboxes, you want to get notified to Slack, and then you can then follow up, or it will also respond in Slack with, hey, this is the draft. Somebody responded, this is the draft, do you approve? So we are still designing systems for this webinar. We're going to be designing human in the loop, as they call. So the way it works typically is human in the loop typically happens first, and then you would go on to something like human on the loop, where the human is not actively engaged. And then finally you would go around to completely autonomous agents. But we'll start always with AI agents. It's always better to start with a human always checking out the output. Then that's it. So once these are the things that we need, and we'll interact with those kind of systems. We have to have Google Calendar as well, because it will book meetings to your calendar. So once that's done, once the basic setup is done, then this is how what we'll design will look like, right? So you get a main dashboard. On the main dashboard, you get the recent the recent emails that people have sent you. So if somebody's like, for instance, in this case, they've given their calendar and say, hey, book on it. Or, there is some other people saying, book on their calendar, or they're asking you for a email, asking you for a time slot. Hey, what time works for you? Accordingly, the AI has to classify and send a response. Okay, so that's what we're trying to do. And then, this is the same thing, but all the drafts that the AI has put together for you to approve, or you want to edit it, you want to review it, and then ask it to redo another draft, for instance. And then the AI, once it gets in the fully autonomous mode, or you say, okay, it will also book meetings for you in your calendar, and then you can see the meetings that have come through. these are all the messages that you've got so far. Obviously with cold email, some people will say not interested, some people are out of office, some people will say, hey, no, I don't want anything to do with this, so on and so forth, right? So, and then we've got a settings tab, and then a test lab. A test lab is something that you can use to see what the AI agents, see what the AI that you pick will respond with before you can connect to a service like Instantly, right? So this is what we're going to build, okay, over the next 2 sessions. We'll see how it goes, how fast it goes, depending upon how it works. So that's that. Let me go back now to, so that's what we're going to build. So what you'll need is Visual Studio Code. I'm hoping that everybody has Visual Studio Code in their machine. You've got some Python basically installed. If you don't have Instantly, that's fine. Ideally, you'd want one API provider key, right? Either OpenAI, Anthropic, or Gemini, right? So we'll see how we'll walk through how we can get the keys if you've never done anything like this before. Okay, so just a quick chat. I just want to put a poll at this point in time, right? And I want to understand, quickly, how many of you have built anything like this? Like, so let me put a poll out there. Sorry, the poll is not there. So if you guys can just chat, how many of you have built an AI agent before? So if you just say yes in the chat, that'll be amazing. So just so I understand that you've built, or this is completely new. If it's completely new, just say it's completely new to me, like Ashish has, obviously said that. Okay. So Suresh, you've not done any of that. Okay, cool. So you guys have Sriram and Subha, you've actually built something. Okay, KP has said no. All right. Okay, so we've got a mix then. So, we will go slowly, then Sriram and Subha. Hopefully that, it's not, if it is, hopefully if it's starting from ABC, apologies about that, but built a RAG model once. Oh, well done, Anand. Yeah, we'll start from basics. Hopefully you guys can get some value out of it. So we'll start right from the basics and see how it goes. Okay, so once I finish this, you will have access to the prompt pack. I will share the prompt pack, which, in case you guys have experience, you can go ahead with, go ahead of some of the other people in the class. Absolutely. Okay. So let's, we got this done. Let's see who's here. So we've got this done. So what is before we get on, let's answer this question, right? What is an AI agent, right? Obviously, if I use ChatGPT, or, people will be using ChatGPT or Claude. Is that using an AI agent? Well, no, because it's what you ask them a question, you get an answer, and then the job done pretty much, right? So it's a static kind of use case. There are other tools that are out there which are called Zapier and Make, if people have heard of it, right? So there are these tools which help you connect different services together. Obviously, what we are doing in this hands-on webinar is to connect different services together, right? So you've got Slack, you've got Google Calendar, you've got Instantly, you've got, obviously the different API providers, you've got obviously the program that you're writing. So you're trying to connect all of these different services, right? So you can do that with things like Zapier or Make, but I've never been a fan of it. But because it's very hard to debug. It's all very rule-based. It's okay, but when things go wrong, it's hard to find. Personally, I've had a workflow for an AI SDR agent. It worked okay, but I could never easily change it so easily. Right, so they're automation, more like an automation kind of workflow. And then what is an AI SDR? What is an AI agent? An AI agent is something that acts autonomously for the most part, given an input. Right, so in this case, it reads your email, it understands what the intent is, it makes decisions, and it drafts responses. Right, so it's a system that runs on its own. So email comes in. You've got something like your classifier that kicks off, and then you've got your draft reply, it's waiting for approval, right? So that's an agent which knows something to do even when you're asleep, and then it gives you a tangible output and it's waiting for approval, right? It runs 24/7. So that's what we're going to build at this point with this, right? So how agents are built, as I went through a little bit, there is, platforms. There are no code platforms like Zapier or NA10. You guys have heard, you must have heard of all this for building automation workflows. Then you've got AI coding agents such as Claude Code or Codex, which can be used to build an AI agent. Then you've got autonomous agents. You must have heard of OpenClaw and Claude Cowork, and they use the computer. So they are autonomous agents, but you don't really have to program them, but they operate a computer, they operate the browser and stuff like that. So a slightly different form of agent. Then you've got something that we won't go into, which is agent frameworks, which I don't myself quite understand, but they use things like LangChain, Crew AI. There are different frameworks that you can use to orchestrate different agents together. So if you've got like multiple agents that do different things, then there is a way to join them together. Okay, so our approach is simple. We're going to be using Claude Code, and with Claude Code, we're going to be building an AI SDR agent, right? So you can do the same with, if you have Codex or Cursor or similar tools, we can, all of these prompts that we're going to give you are transferable. Okay, so yeah. So moving on, I think what to expect, right? So it's important before we get on. What to expect is, it's just about giving you familiarity. If you've not done this before, it's about what is this workflow to build an agent, so you can get started with something like this. Understand how these components connect. There are different components like APIs, databases, dashboards and stuff like that. How do they connect from a logical standpoint, not from a technical standpoint? If you can understand it from a logical standpoint, I would say that's a win. Then you've got the confidence to modify. Obviously we are going to be going through a set of functionality and features, but as long as you've got the confidence to modify it, I would say that's a win. So what we are not aiming for is a production ready tool, which you can make it. I'm not saying it's not, you can't, but you can certainly make it into a production ready tool, which is what I use, or for our incoming tool. This is exactly what we use to get AI drafts and stuff like that, and tweak it in case the AI is not behaving. So yeah, and it's just to give you a flavor. Once you can do this, I guess the aim is that you can build any agent, whatever you've been thinking of in your past. Like, hey, wouldn't it be great a lot of times if I had software for this, right? So that's something that you can do now, because hopefully it'll give you the fundamentals for that. All right. So now coming back to the cold email problem, what is the problem, right? So you've got hundreds of emails, as I mentioned already. You sometimes in bigger organizations, you've got hundreds of emails, people saying different things. I'm not interested. I'm interested. can you send me some more information? Blah blah. That is a time sink if you have to look at it manually. And then typically what happens is there's various stats that say that when somebody immediately responds, you want to get back within 15 minutes. If you don't get back within 15 minutes, sometimes another person wins it, because they would have gone on and searched the web and gotten another lead or another prospect, right? So you don't want to wait till Monday morning to respond, right? So leads don't wait. So that's a problem. So what a cold email agent does is it sends, receive. This is what we do. It can send emails. It receives the emails, and then it classifies. Somebody sends, you receive the email. In this case, after that, we classify what, whether it is whatever one of the categories, whether the person is interested, not interested. Then it goes to the AI to draft it, and then it sends the human to review it, and then sends it back, right? Once the review is approved, it sends it back. So the advantage of this system is we always keep the human in the loop. With AI agents, one of the key things, if you've not done before, is to always make sure that some form of governance is built into the system. So you don't want the AI agent to act rogue and act independently. As long as that guardrails, even if the human is not in the loop, as long as you've got certain guardrails in a document, that's also fine. Hey, ask it to check its output and ask it to say, okay, does it meet all of these conditions or something like that? Even simple can work. But in this case, we're going to have the human in the loop. Okay, so the AI will handle the classification, the drafting. It will run 24/7. Obviously, it doesn't sleep. So some of the concepts for an SDR, I mean, it's good to know, is if you've used things like Instantly, you'll probably be aware of it. But where you've got multiple inboxes, typically when you want to run a campaign, you typically don't run it from your own domain. So if I'm running solvefastlabs.com and I want to run a campaign to get clients, typically I will not use that same domain because you risk damage to your domain reputation. So typically you'll have similar domains that will, from where you'll send emails, right? So it might be like, hey, solve fast, or, get solve fast, or meet solve fast. So it's a bunch of different domains that you typically would get, and email addresses. And the first thing you'll have to do is to warm up. So, warming up essentially ensures that the emails that you send from an email agent like Instantly actually land in people's inbox and don't go to junk, right? So warming up is that process. So it takes a couple of weeks, sometimes to 3 weeks. The longer an inbox stays warmed up, the better. Then you've got campaigns, which is a common term used in Instantly, which is, you've got a bunch of leads who are CTOs you want to target with a separate message. And then let's say you've got VP of product you want to target with a different message, right? So you've got different messages for different categories of people. So you'll run slightly different campaigns. The email sequence will be different and the response might be different. What you respond back might be slightly different, right? And Instantly.ai is a platform that allows you to do these things. Warms up, you can send campaigns and stuff like that. There's obviously other platforms like Salesforce, Smartly. There's a bunch of them. This is quite popular. We've been using it, so that's why we chose that. Then API keys is another kind of concept that is worth going through in case you don't know what it is. It's essentially a way to use, it's like passwords, as it says there, for your code to talk to that service, right? So we are going to build this inside Claude. And then if I want to talk to Instantly, I need a way to do that. An API key is that answer. So what I would typically do is any service like ChatGPT or Claude or anything like that, I would probably go to their website, get their API key, and when I'm designing my program, I'll put the API key, and that gives us the flexibility to talk to these different services. It's just a concept that you just need to know. That's it. So what we are building today. So for today, we'll try and do the setup wizard, which I showed you, and the pipeline, the fetch, classify, and the draft response pipeline. Okay, and then later on we'll see how we are getting on, and once we get on with the first two, maybe then we'll call it a day, and then we'll do 3 and 4 over the next week. Okay, so with that, that's what we're gonna do. So with that, I'm gonna quickly ask you guys to get started on on hands-on. So this is what we need to get set up. Okay, so let's all ensure. I'm gonna share a different window now, so we can get back into the thick of things now. So let me share another screen. So I'm hoping everybody has something like this open, Visual Studio Code, and I'm hoping that people have Claude Code. At least you have a subscription, to Claude. Can I get a quick yes that everybody has Claude Code here? Sriram, just to tell you, don't worry. You don't have to worry about the Instantly.ai API. What we can do is I've got a mock text file that will act as Instantly. Let's use that to start with, because Instantly.ai, and it's the same thing that'll work. So You've got perfect. Ashish, you've got lovely. So can you guys see the screen? Have you been able to install Visual Studio Code and open up Visual Studio Code? You got the Instantly key. Perfect. Okay, nice. So yeah, so if you guys can open VS Code and then create a folder anywhere, call it AI SDR hands-on or something like that, and then select that and then open that folder, right? It's quite simple. So it is an empty project. We will build everything in this. It's an empty folder. So essentially you guys have opened up Visual Studio Code, and within Visual Studio Code, you've created a folder inside your Mac or Windows. And let me also quickly share the prompt pack, okay, with you guys. Let me know if I'll share it in the chat. Okay, there you go. So that should have all the prompts that we want for this system, for this for the session. So just keep it open for now. I want you guys to check one thing. So once we've installed, once we've opened up Visual Studio Code, I want you to go to the extensions window. So Visual Studio Code on the left side, it's the fifth button from the top. It's called extensions. There, just check if you have Claude Code. Just type Claude Code on it. And in my case, as you can see, I've installed it already, right? So if you guys can all check that you have installed Claude Code, okay? That's the next step to do. Once you've done that, then you can, the next thing to do is to, if you're using Mac, it's Command Shift P. You should get a terminal like that. You should get a drop down like that. So, Command Shift P, or I think you can do it from, there is some option I use. Yeah, I'm not this. Go file. I can't remember. There's one option that you can do. Oh yeah, this one, open command palette. You can do that too. View command palette. So in case you don't have the keys, you can go up and then click on that. And then make sure that you start Claude Code, open in a new tab. So you should see something like this pop up, right? I hope everybody's with me so far. If anyone is not with me, let me know. Obviously after this is obviously, once you get here, this is where we start building. Is everybody with me so far? Yes. I mean, if you can post a yes in the chat, that'll be amazing. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Suresh. How about the others? KP, Kritika, Sriram. Okay, perfect, Sriram. Okay, nice. Okay, Ashish, how about you? I know you've said you haven't done any coding. Probably, I don't want to leave you behind. Still working. As in, you've managed to get to this screen. You can, I mean, if it helps, you guys can talk as well. Okay, with Webinar Jam, you can speak. You can raise a request, and we can speak as well. So if it's better, happy to, because it's an interactive session and there's like 6-7 of you, so much more people registered. But so if you have to do individual, happy to. Yes, but an app command line developer started to download. Okay. Is that command line tools from Mac? Are you using a Mac? Okay. I will. So I'm trusting that you've at least gotten to the screen. Okay. So I will give the next step. Okay, perfect. So if you guys can open up the page that I sent over, and let's go on part 1 prompts. I'm guessing you can see the part 1 and prompts folder. Okay, page. So the page should read. Let me share that screen actually. So you should see this Notion page, right? So with connect to Instantly and all of that good stuff. So all you need to do is, in this case, first is it tells you what the prompt is. So the first prompt is we're going to scaffold the project. So we're basically building the foundation for the project. So it creates the basic folder structure for a Python web app. So we're going to be using Python as a language to build this. Think of it as laying the foundation. Okay, so it gives you what we're doing. So it'll be a simple case of copy the prompt. Let's go back to Claude Code and paste it. So that's the first thing. We're doing. So let me share my VS Code. There you go. So you've got Claude Code installed. Then in the terminal you go and copy paste that, and then hit that button, and then it will start getting to work. So obviously it's doing stuff with me, right? It's deciphering. So it's going to create the project structure for you. And Claude is a little bit funny. It'll ask you for permission. I'd say allow all edits to the session, right? Okay, so it's, it would have said that it's created, all files are created. Here's the structure, right? So it's saying source SDR agent, and then it's created a bunch of files. We don't need to know exactly what is needed, but it's giving you the commands as well, right? What to do, and then how to run it. Okay, so there won't be anything at this point in time, but we can still go through. If you go up here to the terminal, and then you can ask Claude, there's two ways you can do it. Sometimes when I'm very lazy, I'm like, I can't even be bothered to type. I'll say, can you do the above, and then launch the command yourself. Perfectly fine to do that. Or otherwise, if you want to do, if you want to do it on your own, if you go up to the terminal, and then open a new terminal. Okay, so this is where we would type some of that commands out that Claude is saying you need to type, right? So here, if I come here and then hopefully, I just enter that and then hit enter. So it's basically, for me, I had all of that installed. So it's basically installing all the dependencies for the project. And then you copy that command, Python path, source, whatever it says, and then run it in the terminal. So yeah, for me, I think I'm using it for my demo. So it's saying the port is in use, but you guys should be able to run it, even though there won't be anything useful that happens. So that's the first step. So if you've done that, hey, I mean, that's it. You're onto the coding onto the agentic coding ladder. If you've never done anything like this before, and now it's just a case of building, making sure that the program behaves pretty much from now on. Okay. So where is this prompt? Okay, sorry, Sriram. I'm just seeing the message. It's in the, okay. No, it should be prompt 1. You're lost. Okay, let's wait, Ashish. So Ashish, it's, where are you? Because I think it's better to chat in case other people are stuck. Can you get on the get on the microphone? It's probably easier. That's why. Rather than chatting. There you go. Hello. Can you hear me? Ashish? Hello. I did give you the permission. Okay. Hello. Hi. Is that Ashish?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think I am stuck at the part where I think I opened the Claude Code and it suddenly some app started to download, so I could not use anything.
Oh, okay.
I'm still at that same screen and still trying to make sure this app downloads and then I can move on to the next step. But it seems like you already completed the first step, so I was like, oh,
yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, essentially, are you able to see the screen that I'm showing you, but not with the change?
I'm following.
Okay, there.
I could not come to a point where I can type something.
Okay. You haven't come to the point. Okay. Did you install the extension? Did you install the Claude Code extension?
Yes, I did that. And
okay.
as you asked that command shift, whatever the
P, yeah.
P. So I came to that search bar. I entered Claude Code there, and then so there I am right now.
Okay, what do you get when you type Claude Code?
In Claude Code, it says continue in browser, or it asks some authentication code? I think that's where I'm right now.
Oh, yeah. You have to authenticate. Yeah. First, you'll
Okay.
have to authenticate with, essentially, to use Claude inside, you have to authenticate with their service, right? So go ahead and authenticate with their service.
And that's done through the
browser. Yeah. It'll take you to a browser, authenticate it, and you'll come back. Sriram, yes. I mean, if you're familiar, you can go ahead with some of the other prompts, Sriram. Happy for you to, obviously after scaffolding, prompt 2, I'm hoping you can see that prompt 1 is scaffold the project, and prompt 2 is set up the virtual environment. You can just paste one after another, and then you can see how the UI is being built, and then you can ask any questions if you want while we are sorting out Ashish here.
Because the authentication is done.
Okay.
But where should I type anything here?
So then after that, if you go to now Command Shift P, so let me type it again here, or if you go here, go to View and then Command Palette. Okay. You should see an option here which says Claude Code, open in a new tab. Do you see that option?
Claude Code. No, it's simply the only search I see is Claude Code, but
don't you have open in a new tab like what I'm showing you here?
Yeah, it opened now. So it seems like I have where you can convert something, right? Ask
Correct.
Something.
Correct. Yeah. So you'll see a empty chatbot here. Now you need to take the first prompt that I gave. So then you go to my web Notion link. So,
yeah, found it. So the first prompt I just copy exactly same.
Yeah, it scaffold the project, right? Prompt 1.
Yes.
You go and copy all of it and then paste it inside. Paste it inside the inside Claude Code that I showed you there. So yeah, paste inside here. So Command Shift P. So you see this window here. You go and paste it, right? Paste the full prompt, and then you hit the arrow.
The prompt starts from the code, right? Create a Python Flask. That's the prompt.
Let me see. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, correct. That's the whole prompt. Okay, and then you hit enter. Basically, that's the one I've already created. So I shouldn't be doing this again.
And it says allow write to something Python. So you say allow.
Yeah. Just allow it. Allow all edits or something like that, right? So essentially, it's doing the job for you now, and then it's asking. It's being safe. Claude Code is trying to be safe. It's telling you that, hey, I'm going to be writing stuff. I mean, yeah, you trust it. It's being very conservative. I would say allow all edits at this point in time.
Perfect. I think now I'm following.
You're back on?
Yes.
So after this, it's a case of going through, I'll be on standby. I'm hoping that everybody else is with us. If anybody is not with me, let me know, because obviously this is the key. Once this is done, then we are, I will, what we're doing is to slowly build it up. Okay. So before anybody builds it up, what I will share is a file. So I've shared a file here, which I'm assuming everybody can get it. If you go to the files folder, in the files in your webinar jam, I'm hoping, I don't know, I've never seen it as a recipient, so I don't know. You should have a file called sample replies. Is everybody seeing it? A file called sample_replies.json. So that is to avoid instantly being there, basically. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, you can download that. Perfect. You can download that and keep it inside the same folder. So once you do that, let's go on. Okay, so we've done the first part, which is scaffolding the project. Second part is a virtual environment. Okay, so this is good practice. So essentially, in simple languages, virtual environment is it gives whatever we're creating a program, it gives an isolated, it gives like an isolated box for it to run. So it doesn't matter what you've installed in your system. So you could have installed different versions of Python on your system, but when you use a virtual environment, it'll have its own set of dependencies that you can use for the AI SDR agent. Okay. So again, go ahead and copy it. right? It's essentially asking Claude to set up a virtual environment for this project, right? So, if you copy that and then paste it into Claude Code. So here, there you go. Is that the right one? Yeah. Paste it and then run. Make sure the app runs on port 5001 without errors, right? So it's created the virtual environment here. You allow it. Perfect. It's saying everything is running. And then obviously you should get something like this, HTTP localhost 5001. You can go to your browser instance and go to that page. This thing for me, sorry, I think something else is running. So I'm asking it to kill whatever was running. And so you can see that here already essentially I'm trying to debug why I'm not getting the prompt. So, okay, now it's saying it's free for me. Okay, now it says that running. Let's try. Okay, yeah. So you should just see something like this. AI SDR agent is running. Okay. So that's all you'll be seeing. Yes, this is being recorded. Yeah, I can send you. But Subha, happy for you to, because there's less people, I'm happy for you to stop by if something is not clear. Happy for us to have a discussion, especially if you haven't gotten the initial steps, then it's going to be obviously super difficult for you to follow on. Okay, so let me know. I mean, if you're stuck, then we can have a call like what we did with Ashish. Is everybody with? Yeah, go on, Shubha. You wanna have a quick call, and then we can unblock you. Okay, you're good. Perfect. Everybody else all with me so far? I'm guessing if you guys don't say yes, I'll assume. If anybody is actually lost at any point in time, please message, okay? So otherwise, if you don't message, I'll assume that things are going well. Okay, so now that we've done the second step, all right? So the next part is to build a storage, right? So what we're doing is, this is essentially we have various keys that when we're actually building a production application, we've got API keys. Those are like passwords and secrets, right? So you don't want to have those keys floating around in public. So what the next part will do is to make sure that we store it securely. Okay. So if there is an API key that we provide, it'll make sure that it takes the API key and stores it securely. Because if you saw the initial application that I gave you, it's a wizard type interface, right? So you've got a wizard, and in the wizard, you're entering the API key for Instantly, you're entering the API key for OpenAI. You don't want other people to get access to it. So it's a safe and secure way of storing it. So simply, copy that prompt again. Okay. And yeah, just chuck it into Claude Code and then ask it to, get to work. So essentially the prompt is, so just for, just one thing that in case you're thinking about, it's not like these prompts are the gold standard. These have come after. It's like, think of the analogy, right? If you think of a chef writing a recipe book, the chef doesn't immediately, write the recipe in the book and then make the dish. Obviously, they make the dish, try various combinations, and then finally write the recipe. So, the prompt is the final recipe. You can play around with it, right? So you can say, hey, you can do things like, you don't have to give this whole prompt. You can say, please make sure there is a way by which these API keys are secure, and Claude is smart enough for it to figure out. Okay, so you don't have to give it this detailed prompt. So you can just say, hey, I'm going to connect to Instantly. I'm going to be storing a lot of keys. Just make sure that nobody can access it. That's all you need to say. Okay, so this is a little bit more ordered because we're doing a hands-on workshop. I want to be able to get the same kind of output for everyone. Okay, all right. So we still till about prompt 3, we are still doing back-end work, laying the foundation. Okay, because we now have to build the wizard that I showed you, right? So once that's done, you're basically asking Claude to create a multi-step wizard. as a web page, right? The first two steps are a welcome screen, and it's connecting to Instantly. Then you've got the actually the wizard will test the API key in real time. Okay, you'll see a green check mark when it works. So if you have an Instantly key, you can check with that. Okay, so if you don't have, we'll have to use what we can do is we can also tell Claude that, hey, I don't have Instantly. I want you to use replies underscore whatever, the file that you downloaded, the one that I shared. You can say, I'll go through that in a moment. So let's do this first. Oh, Claude, the previous one is still not finished. Okay, there you go. It's finished the previous step. Now I'm going to go ahead with the next prompt, which is asking it to create a wizard. So I'll say go on. It's still doing its work. So after step 4, we'll try and see how the browser looks. Okay, so we've done 4 prompts. We'll try and see if it brings up Instantly. Brings up the wizard page. At any point in time, if you're not sure, you can always ask, how do I run it? Right? Or you can ask for Claude to run it as well. It looks like it started on its own this time for me. Everything is working. It's confirmed that things are working. Okay. There you go. So now if you've done step 4, you should be able to copy HTTP, whatever it's giving you. There you go, set up. And then you say get started. It's asking you to connect instantly. Okay. I'm hoping that people have gotten to this stage so far. Sorry, I'm not showing this. Let me share my screen. Yeah, this is how it ends up for now. I'm hoping that people have gotten to this AI SDR agent, automate your outbound sales with AI-powered lead enrichment, personalized emails, and smart campaign management. Let's get you set up in a few clicks, okay? You've got the Instantly.api here. All right. So now let's do something. Okay. Speak. Somebody wants to speak. Yes, Sriram. Okay. Sorry, I'm just seeing that. Hello? Sriram, can you make that request again? Yeah. I just finished prompt 4. Yeah. Ashish was correct. I don't think I have this outcome. What do you have, Ashish? If you followed the prompts, you should get something like this. Okay, Sriram has joined. Hi, Sriram.
Hey, thanks.
No worries.
Sorry, I was a bit lost. I was a bit distracted earlier, but I think we have done prompt 4 now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And when in Claude Code, like when you're allowing the bash command to execute, there are like multiple options, right? Yes and yes, allow for this project. Again, is there? I see you always clicking number 2. Is there a reason why you do that?
Only because it will stop me from asking it again for the same command. The first yes is only for that particular time it asks.
Okay.
And if you say yes, allow for this project, but the problem is Claude will have a slight variation in the command, and it'll anyway ask you again. So it's not. There is a mode which is less annoying in Codex. It's like you can give it full access, but that mode is not easily accessed. I can. It's like, but they call it dangerous, so I don't use that. For all practical purposes, the yes and yes for all project doesn't. It's all the same. So it's just that it's annoying. Sometimes you have to keep clicking though. But
got it. And then now, right? Yeah. So again, I am actually. I've done up to prompt 4, so I wasn't sure if there was anything that needs to be done in the setup settings.py. Or is that what we are using the wizard for? Because I'm done with number 4, but I'm still seeing that just a blank page, welcome to AI SDR. So I don't know if I have to restart or anything.
I think you have to, you have to restart. Did you launch it in the terminal yourself, or did you ask Claude to launch it? I would say the best thing to do is ask Claude to relaunch it, kill the process.
Okay.
Just say, hey, Claude, can you kill it and relaunch it? Okay, so then it should do the job, and it should say, okay, fine, I've done it. Then you can copy that URL and go to the browser. Try and do that.
Okay, got it. I'll do that. Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right, no worries. Hey, Ashish, you have a question? So once...
Or should I go back as an attendee? Let me do that.
I think so. I think you have to go. Yeah, there you go. Ashish back. Hey, Ashish, tell me.
Hey, Karthik. So I don't think I have the link, which the URL you are looking for. So I get like everything passes. Here is summary of what was built, but I don't see any like HTTP URL in this.
Did you go through till Claude?
Yeah. I pasted the fourth prompt too, and after that it went through the same steps that you were doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why don't you ask it to say, hey, can you relaunch this program again or something? Try that.
Just type it, like, can you?
Yeah, just type it. Still getting the blank page. Oh, okay. I'm checking Sriram, stop sharing.
So it is saying app is running at some code. It is responding with 200. Is that an error?
00 is okay, actually.
Okay.
20 is fine. But did it give you a link? Did it give you a HTTP localhost?
It is giving me something running at HTTP 127, some IP address.
Yeah. Just copy that IP and then go to your browser.
Yes. Okay, I got it. Welcome to AI SDR agent. Yeah, get started, and I'm into the second tab, second page.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Right. Thank you.
All right. Perfect. I mean, yeah. I think you might have to go /setup, Sriram. I think ask. I think if you, I believe it's this. I believe it's like, localhost 5001 /setup, right? So if you go there, it should it should actually redirect you even with the 5001. Okay. That's weird. So clearly some of the steps either have not completed or you press no or something has happened over there. Can you just redo what you can do is to copy all the 4 prompts, or not just the third and fourth, maybe, where we built the wizard. I think it's the third and fourth, right? So let me go back. Now, third is encrypted setting storage. Yeah, you can, fourth should actually do the job, right? Can you ask if copy this and ask if the setup route has been completed /setup. I'd say Sriram, copy the prompt 4 again and execute it again, and then try it. And if it's not, just ask it why. Essentially, you'll have to ask it again that, hey, there should be a route for HTTP localhost 5001 /setup. Why am I not? Why is there an error? Ask it to debug it, basically. Oh, perfect. There you go. That's what you need to do. Ask Claude to fix it. API key, it's only available in the paid plan. But as I said, Ashish, what we can do is we can go back to the window where we created, so we can go back to this window in the Claude window and then say, you can say something like this. I don't have Instantly.api. We need to use a mock JSON file that will have all the replies, instead of instantly or something like that. Essentially, we are pretending that file to be instantly. What instantly does from a contextual standpoint is that it will respond back with the emails. It's just saying that, hey, I got an email from so and so. So even if the service is not there, it's okay. What we can do is to use that file. So the file that I gave you, so the sample file, put that somewhere in your folder. So let me show you. Let me actually find that file myself. Okay, so in this case, I've just copied that sample replies here. Okay, if you guys can see that. So what you can do is, typically with Claude, if you need to respond, if you need to add context of a file, you can just say @ and then you can select sample replies.json. So here I selected that file. So, and essentially I'm telling Claude, give me an option to proceed even if I don't have Instantly key. Okay. So can you add a backup option in the wizard if I have this file? Okay. So essentially you can say something like that. If you don't have, I'll paste it, but you can tell it in perfect Sriram. That could explain it. So I'm just pasting that text over there, which says I don't have Instantly. We need to use mock. Mock is like pretending. We're pretending to be Instantly. Blah blah blah. You can say something like that and enter. So once you enter, it will probably solve it for you. Let me read the current file to plan the changes. So essentially, it will allow you to go through the wizard. Okay. So yeah, so it's adding an option called use demo data that validates, okay, and uses it as mock data instead of real Instantly API key. Okay, so we can do that. How are the others doing? KP, how are you doing? A sample replies, Ashish, is the file that I gave you. I'm sharing the file in Webinar Jam. Did you get it? It's okay, perfect, Sriram. That's really good. Ashish, did you? Okay, name of the JSON file was jumbled. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, just call it something. It's fine. All you have to do is to tell Claude that I've got X file. I've got this file here. So it doesn't have to be exactly that file. Yeah. So I thought it should have come up as sample underscore responses.json. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. You can save it. Sample underscore responses or whatever, replies, anything. Okay. So we are already going off piste here, right? This wasn't part of the prompt pack, but you can see it being flexible, right? So essentially we've seen that people don't have Instantly API key. That's fine. We've just, weaved our way around it. So server exited, port conflict. It's doing the stuff for me. There are already processes on port. Perfect. Okay. Servers, it is backup. Okay. So now, you should, there you go. So let me share my screen. So I'm getting something like that, right? So I'm getting no API key, use demo data, load sample campaigns and replies from a JSON file. Great for testing the app without an Instantly account. Okay. But when I click on demo data, nothing happens. Okay. So it's failing basically, right? So what do I do now? Just go back and then say exactly what happened to Claude. So when I click on, let me share my other screen. Yeah, when I click on load demo data, nothing happens. Okay, so when there's an error, again go and tell what happened. Nothing's happening. Can you fix it? Or ask it for logs, or ask, do you need any logs? Okay. Can you fix it? If you need any logs, tell me how to collect it. Okay. Sometimes Claude will need logs and it'll tell you, hey, you need to give me logs. Then you have to ask, you have to tell it, hey, how can I do it? If you need any logs, tell me how to collect it. So I did something like that. I'm not sure what you guys are seeing. Yeah, file name was different. Okay. So for me, I've done something like that on Claude. So it's checking, actually. It's checking backend works fine. It's trying to debug issues likely in the JavaScript. I see the problem. So it's basically fixing the problem when I clicked on load demo. Okay. So it's saying it's done the job for me now. let me try it again. I'll stop sharing and then try and go back. Set up, share, code demo data. No, still not working. Yes, dear. Oh, there you go. Now it says that loaded 4 campaigns and 25 replies. I'm assuming that people have been able to get to this stage. So, okay, if you got into that stage where it's loaded the campaigns from the file that I provided, then what we can do is it needs to go to the next part, next wizard, next prompt, right? So now you can go to prompt number 5, which is now you have to set up the actual AI provider. Okay, so you need to set up whether it is OpenAI or Anthropic or Google Gemini, right? One of them. So I'm gonna take prompt 5 and then get it to run. Okay, so just to share again, there you go. Yeah, it created a tab with an option. Okay, that's fine. That's okay. I mean, whatever works. It's you can ask it to. If it created a tab with an option, perfect. You can ask it if you. I mean, for me, these things are the key thing to note here. These things are not deterministic. Sriram and Ashish, so they do every time they do slightly different things. If you want it to behave the way that it happened for me, I mean, I didn't give it very clear instructions either, so it just picked one way over another. But that's fine as long as for now it works. That's okay. The next thing for us to add is the OpenAI key, right? So we're going to be talking to ChatGPT or with Claude. I think if you guys can take a prompt 5 and get on with it, and let me know if you're able to get to the next screen. Okay, that will be great. Okay, it shouldn't finish setup. We are I think it's not yet wired properly, Sriram. That's why we are still not built it, right? So we need to go with prompt 5 now. Essentially, we've not finished the journey. Okay, so let's I'd say just get working on prompt 5, which which will get the OpenAI key set up, and then we'll try after that. Okay, so for me, it's finished, prompt 5, and I should be seeing, okay, get started, load demo data, next. Okay, there you go. It should, it's saying choose the API provider. So let's say we go with OpenAI, right? And then you guys will have to choose an OpenAI key, because without this, obviously, we don't have an AI to talk to. So let me know. Let me share my screen again. So to get an OpenAI key, this is what you would need to do. So you can just type in Google for OpenAI API key or something like that. And then it will go to platform.openai, platform.openai.settings. And in here, you can say create a new key. Okay. You can say create a new key. So for me, I'll call it hands-on webinar, and create a secret key. I will copy that. It'll show you only once. You copy that, and then you can, paste it in. So going back here, I'm going to share this tab. So I've got the key now. You enter the key here and then say test connection. There you go. It says connected to OpenAI. So if you're able to get that, finish setup. Okay, yeah, then it'll get you back to like what you're saying, AI SDR agent is running, but that's okay. It doesn't know. We've just only finished the wizard. So we've not yet done anything in the application so far. All we've done is we've created the wizard. We've said, okay, this is my Instantly key. If Instantly is not there, I've asked it to load from a file. Then the next step is OpenAI. That's all we've done. So it's okay if you're getting that as a prompt. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Have you all been able to get the OpenAI key or an Anthropic key and then test the connection for the OpenAI? Yeah. Okay, perfect, Suresh. That's good. So you've got OpenAI set up. Ashish, how about you? Super, you've got it set up. Perfect. Ashish, have you been able to set up the OpenAI API key as well? And we have a few more joining. I think Sam, Rajat, those guys have been quiet. I'm not sure if they're following. Your test is failing. Okay, that means your either your key was incorrect. So did you use OpenAI? If you use OpenAI, you can recreate the key again. And if it's still failing, you can ask Claude to say exactly that. Now running prompt 5. Okay. Yeah, that's good, Sriram. You've got Anthropic. So did you select the Anthropic key then? Because obviously there's 3 types of APIs we can, if you accidentally pasted the Anthropic key in OpenAI, it's not going to work. You'd have to select in this case. Yeah, so let's go back to setup. So if I go to setup here, I don't know how it's seen for you, but so I get 3 options like these: OpenAI, Anthropic, and Gemini. I used OpenAI, but I can try Anthropic too. I mean, it should, and then get API key, create key. Okay, so yeah, well, either your key is wrong or, you can ask it again. Just give that error to Claude, Ashish. Just say, I'm getting Anthropic returned status 400. Just give the same error, copy it. If you want, you can copy it. If it's helpful, you can copy the whole image and you can give it to Anthropic to debug. Sorry, not to Anthropic, to Claude Code. You can just say, hey, this is what I'm getting, and ask it to debug. Okay, so it should be able to figure out why it's getting that. Okay, so try doing that. Okay, did it fix the issue? I mean, did Claude, obviously it would probably try and identify why you're getting 400. It should give you some suggestions. Perfect. Nice. That's great. So you guys have all connected then. So we've gotten in, we've connected to OpenAI, connected to Anthropic or to Gemini. Gemini is actually cheaper. So if you guys want, I think Gemini Flash is very generous. They're cheaper than Anthropic and OpenAI. Okay, so we've done that. Now let's move on to 6, and now we are actually going to the meat. Okay, now we've set up everything. So we are building the main dashboard page now. Okay, so prompt 6. So if you copy, prompt 5 was done, AI provider, then prompt 6, build the dashboard. What it does, creates the main dashboard page, the home screen of your agent. For now, it shows the app name, connection status, and a placeholder for the campaigns. We'll add real data in part 2. Okay, so that's what it does. So you can go and copy and paste it. Okay, let me share my other window. Perfect, all good with the LLM app setup. That's good to hear. Okay, so once you're on prompt 6, it should have built out the basic dashboard. And again, you can play around like how you asked Claude to fix the errors. You can always ask it to, change the layout. If you don't like the layout, like for instance, this is what it's built now. It's built the dashboard. Drafts is not there. Settings page is probably not there as well. Anyway, settings is read. So it's built. It's saying what is the current progress. AI provider is not configured, which is not great. If I go to setup again, load demo data. Next, Anthropic. OpenAI. Okay, let me go and copy the OpenAI key. That's the Anthropic key, test connection, network error. Okay. Let's test the OpenAI. Okay, finish setup. Okay, there you go. So if you've connected instantly, an AI provider, it should say, okay, in this case, the AI provider is OpenAI and Instantly is connected, but with a demo source. Hopefully you guys can, after prompt 6, you should be at this stage where we've now got into building the skeleton, the dashboard skeleton. Perfect. Good, Sriram. Are you able to, I'm not sure, hopefully it's built the same thing for you, but are you able to see Instantly AI connected mock data? Okay, perfect. That's amazing. All right. Ashish, I hope you're good. Suresh, I hope you're getting on well. Anant, are you guys still on? Anant, Sam, and Rajat? Sam and Rajat have left. Anant, any help from your side? Oh, Suresh, yeah, one sec. Yeah, Suresh, I put you on.
Hi, Karthik.
Yeah, hi, Suresh.
Just this is more of a kind of question to get my head around this whole thing, not in the specifics. So
Yeah.
I've got to the stage where I've built the dashboard, and
Yeah.
I can see the different elements of those 3 bits: my campaign, sent emails, and draft. And I've got the keys connected as well to Instantly and to OpenAI as well. So Claude as well. And I've got a mock file as well, just as a backup, because I don't have data in Instantly.
Okay.
And when I see the kind of, I'm just trying to understand the whole cycle now, just to get my head around. When I see the draft responses, so I'm just trying to understand where exactly is the LLM kicking in, because obviously we've already connected VS Code as well to Claude Code, and we're using kind of the.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, but so there's it's a good question. There's two LLMs in operation here.
Correct.
Okay, so Claude Code is essentially we are using it just to build our code, build our agent.
Exactly.
Okay, so
yes.
But the way the flow works is, imagine if Instantly you're running a campaign in Instantly, and then somebody responds back with saying, "Hey, I'm interested," right? Yeah. Typically, what would happen is there would be something called a webhook that will get fired back, right? So you would get a webhook fired from Instantly down to your application, right? Down to this application that we're building.
Right.
That's one way. Or the second way that we're actually going to do is the polling system. So for our application, we'll constantly ask Instantly, "Hey, has somebody responded?" Right?
Okay.
And when somebody responds, you get the response back. Okay.
Got it.
And then that response will be taken along with the thread that you've sent, and that's what we're going to send to OpenAI, let's say, or the secondary LLM that we've configured.
Exactly. Understood.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Got it.
That's what we're going to wire up next week, basically.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah. That's what we're going to wire up next week. Yeah.
Okay.
That's correct. Yeah.
Fantastic, Karthik. Thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome.
Amazing.
All right. Perfect. I think if drafts and settings won't work, Sriram, because we've not configured it yet. Okay. We'll do one more prompt, and I think we'll call it enough for the day. I think it's been quite heavy for people, so we'll do one more prompt, and we've not taken a break. So after that, we will continue next week. So I think if you go ahead, you're more than welcome to continue building it. As if you're getting the hang of it. As I mentioned to Suresh, it's we have the sample responses. We can augment that if you want, right? By additional responses. But for now, essentially the next prompt is Instantly API client, which we're going to mock. Okay, so we don't have an Instantly API client. So we can ignore prompt 7 and we can go to prompt 7b, okay, where it says that I don't have an Instantly client. Create a mock email provider that reads from a local file, which I've already configured, right? And then it'll, download the sample replies file from this URL and save it as, okay. So I don't think that is, essentially it's giving some crap, but essentially what you need to say is, I've already have this file. So copy, I think this prompt is not updated. You copy prompt 7b, and then at the end, so let me share my window. Okay, so I've copied that prompt. I'm saying I don't have a mock email, but at the end, and you can just say, I have already configured the sample responses or whatever that you've selected. For me, it's called sample replies. Okay, so I've already given you the path or something like that. Already given the path for mock data here. Okay, let's use that. Okay, so and then like this, you can, if you don't have you can see that how we're iteratively building, right? Hopefully all of you can already get the hang of how to build an application now. Essentially, you're doing trial and error. Yeah, you're building. Yeah, exactly. You're right, Sriram. You can, you can have Claude populate sample responses with more responses, with your types of responses, whatnot, right? So you can do that. So here that's what it's doing next. It's copying, it's using the mock provider, and trying to, use instead of Instantly, but equally works well with Instantly. Typically what would happen with Claude is it would go research everything with Instantly. You don't have to do anything. You just need the Instantly API key, and then you just need to tell it, hey, connect to Instantly. I've got 10 campaigns going in Instantly. I want you to get all the campaigns over to this side. Yeah, and typically if you build an AI SDR agent like this, or if you buy, there are third-party agents. If you go and Google out there, there are agents like KT and, there's a bunch of AI SDR agents that companies give. Even Instantly has an AI SDR agent. That's so expensive, and you can't even control what they're doing. It will randomly respond without you having full control. That's why, for me, I started building my own AI SDR. That was the motivation. This is just for, what I'm showing is just for like AI SDRs, but what you can do is you can do something like this for support. So in case in the company you've got some support portal or something like that, and then you get a lot of support requests, and a lot of them require a same sort of template or same sort of email, you can automate that, right? So it's all about using AI to go one step beyond, and not just ChatGPT, just go one step beyond and make it do actual work, really. So it's completed for me. So it's completed the mock. Okay, so let's see. For me, I've asked it to use the mock, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to see what it is outputting. Exciting times. Okay, for me, it's forgotten my API key again. So, if something like this happens, so let me share my screen. So it's connected my demo data, but it keeps forgetting my AI provider, which is annoying. So I have to go back to setup, load the demo data, go back to OpenAI. Oh no, that is not my, I need to go back, get my API key, test the connection, finish the setup. Now it's connected back. Okay, it's not yet viewing. It looks like it's connected. I don't know what that step. I thought it's going to show me the recent replies after I've connected, but it's clearly not doing that. So I will go and ask, let me see what it done. Here's what was updated. Data / sample replies copied from project root, mock provider. Okay, I'll ask where you're supposed to show me the drafts from sample replies in the AI SDR dashboard. Okay, so it's saying it should, let me wire that up. You get the hang of it. I think we are, we'll call it a day now for now. It's been quite heavy without a break, but yes, I am asking Claude. 1 second, KP, I didn't show that. Sorry, I'm having to move between two screens. Yeah, so I asked Claude for this. After I wired and then I ran my dashboard, it wasn't showing me the replies in the mock file. So I asked whether it was supposed to show me the drafts from the JSON file in the dashboard. It said, yeah, it should be pulling it, but obviously it's not wired it up. So it's getting all the data now, and then hopefully it'll wire it up now. So verify dashboard shows all the 25 replies with categories. Okay, so the dashboard should now show. So let's go back to the dashboard and let's just check demo data. This is annoying that I have to, for instance, let me like I've got this behavior here where I'm repeatedly entering the OpenAI API key, which I don't like it. So I'm going to next tell it, hey, can you anytime I set up the OpenAI key, make sure you don't ask for me, ask for it again. You can say that. Anyway, here you can see now it's taken all the recent replies. So this is what I wanted to get to for today. And, so these are all the responses we've got. So essentially we've spoken to Instantly, or we've spoken to, a file in this case. We've gotten all the responses. Okay. And then, it's sort of categorized it as well, right? It's just categorized it now into wants to book, not interested, question, out of office, and all of that. One thing I just need to check is I thought the LLM wasn't hooked up, but is the LLM doing the classification here? Let me check. So anytime you're not clear, just again go back to so I'm going back. Let me share my so here you can see I've actually pasted the dashboard screenshot. It's very useful in case you want to debug and you want to change, or you want to ask Claude a question on how certain things are not looking good. You don't like the layout, you want it in a certain way. All of that, you can just take the screenshot, paste it in this chat box, and then you can ask it a question. Hey, now I'm going to ask it a question saying, I'm actually going to talk to it. So I don't want to type. So I'm talking to Claude, not to you guys. Okay. So one sec. Hey, can you tell me, I've actually pasted a screenshot of the dashboard here. And I get each email is categorized into wants to book, not interested, question, out of office, unsubscribe, and so on and so forth. So has the LLM actually run and categorize this, or are these categories from the sample replies directly? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is the mock data. The LLM hasn't run. So our JSON actually, if you look at it here, has a category called wants to book. Essentially, that's what we need to get. It's pre-labeled. Now, this is where, like what Suresh was asking, we need to actually take this. Hey, I'd love to be on the podcast. That's what this person is saying. We need to take that, pass it to the LLM, and then classify it into wants to book, needs more information, all of that kind of stuff, right? That's what we need to do. Now, all we've done is we've taken the mock data and we've loaded it into the dashboard. Yeah. So next week, we can see how to classify this, how to take this response, send it to the LLM, which we've connected, classify it into one of the categories, and then after that, we can edit it, right? So that's where we want to get to next week. Yeah. With that, I think, with that, the dashboard itself doesn't use. No, the dashboard. So Sriram, the dashboard, not yet. Okay. So at the moment, like that's what I was trying to say. So what's happening is the dashboard is just loading a file, loading the data from a mock file with pre-labeled wants to book and stuff like that, right? That is what we want the LLM to assess. Obviously, we've just given mock data, but what we want is we want to take the reply, send it to the LLM because we have the OpenAI key configured now. It will send that to the LLM, and then it will come back with a classification. Is this person interested, not interested, all of that. That's what we need to actually wire that up next week directly to the LLM. Is that making sense? All right. If that's the case, any last questions before we kind of wind up for this week? Yeah, the classification step needs the LLM. That's right. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, guys. I think if you have no other questions, we'll call it a day. And we'll look forward to catching up next week then. Hopefully it's been useful. All right, perfect. Cheers. Thanks. I'm glad you guys found it useful. Okay. See you. Bye. No worries. Okay. Bye, guys. I'll do the recording. Yeah. Bye.